Okay, so this is part 3 of my metabolism series. And the first video covered basically the foundation of healthy habits. And then part 2 covered, is my metabolism broken? And honestly, I think that is probably one of my favorite videos because it's it's really helpful, I think, when you're in the thick of trying to lose weight or trying to change your body composition, because it helps understand a little bit more about what your body is doing and during these processes that really help you to make smarter choices with your diet and your fitness. So part 3, is starvation mode a thing? I talked about that a little bit when I talked about adaptive thermogenesis, and I kind of like want glasses on right now because I sound so smart when I say adaptive thermogenesis. But I have to look up all of these definitions. So I'm smart in that I can look up things. So always don't be scared to look up things. I've been doing that lately. This is like complete tangent, but in some of my Bible studies, I've looked at definitions, and it'll be like a word like grace, and I'll be like, yeah, I know what that is, but then sometimes I really don't. Like I have the idea of it, but then it helps to look at the definition of things and even just synonyms and antonyms of things, and then you're like, it gives you a deeper understanding. So, anyways, look up definitions of things so you really know what the word means. Is starvation mode a thing? So in my part 2, talked a little bit about adaptive thermogenesis. And remember, this is the process that happens when your body starts burning less calories because you are at a lower weight. You've lost weight. And it's all to conserve energy. And again, and not again, because I didn't really talk about this, but your body wants to stay the same. Homeostasis. It's not like, and this is what the mentor said, in my training class, and it was so funny because he was like, your body's not like, oh, you're going to work out now? Oh, you're going to try to lose weight? Okay, let's go. I will help you. It's like, no. Your mind up here has to be like, okay, body, this is what we're doing now. So let's get on board. And your body's like, no, I think we're fine. We're just going to keep everything smooth sailing because you are a machine and we're just going to keep it here. And, sometimes we're not down for that. You got to make changes. So kind of good too. Not that your body is going against you. It's just that it has to get in this process like, oh, this is what we're doing. And I think too, this is kind of like when you see people in body competitions, like bodybuilding and stuff, and they're training very hard, there gets to be a point where a lot of them, I believe, don't really get sore anymore. They're training hard. And then it gets really hard to gain more muscle or to get stronger, and you're having to be more deliberate and intentional with your training, because your body's like, yeah, we're trying to conserve energy, trying to make it so that you're not getting super sore, so it's having to recover, and it's like getting on the page, like we're all on the same page now, and some of those things don't happen as much anymore. Okay. So, adaptive thermogenesis. So this process slows the resting metabolic rate. And your metabolic rate is basically how many calories you burn throughout the day. And so that is what I would say would be closest to this concept of starvation mode. But I think most people think that they just get to a point and you're not losing weight. And the thing is, there's 2 things going on here. And I'm like going off script right now, so maybe I'll cover my notes. But one, you're at a new weight. So your body has grown accustomed to where you're at, and then you will need to cut calories more to continue to burn. And the thing is too, the more weight you lose, the less weight there is to lose. So think about that. The more weight you lose, the less weight there is to lose. So the amount that you're losing each week would naturally slow, especially if you had a lot of weight to lose. So that could be something that's going on. So if you're managing, though, a calorie deficit, you should continue to lose weight. One thing to note here is that if you have lost weight previously and have not lost weight in like, let's say the last 2 weeks, like none, and you're weighing yourself, and the scale's not budged, there are two things I would suggest to do. One, reassess your calorie deficit. I talked about that a little bit earlier. Lower weight requires less calories. So redo your formula with your calorie deficit and try again. Number two, and this is what no one wants to do, and this is the thing that I will talk about until I die. And honestly, maybe a friend needs to bury this with me. Get a digital scale out. And if you have not already done this, weigh your food. Weigh your food. Okay? Weigh your food. It's so easy to get the numbers wrong. And research has shown people underreport how many calories they're actually eating. We just don't know. Really, we're just really bad at it. That's why if you are on a calorie deficit, you have got to use a digital scale. That's all I want you doing. If you're a client of mine, you're going to be using a digital scale if you want to lose weight. Okay? That's the only way. It's the only way. So you really know how much you're eating. If you are mentally struggling with being on a calorie deficit, take a break. I would encourage you to continue to be mindful of portions and then the quality of food you're eating. Indulge in a sweet, salty snack when you need it, and be mindful if your cravings are starting to increase. Are you continuing to prioritize protein and whole foods? There's 3 macronutrients, okay? Protein, fat, and carbs. Protein has the highest satiety, meaning it keeps you full longer than any of the other 2 macronutrients. And I'm not saying you make your diet 100% protein. No, but you should be aiming for at least 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. If you weigh 120 pounds, try to aim 95 to 100 grams of protein a day. If that's something you struggle with, I got you. Message me. Comment. I'll help. Because I was there too. I've had to do all this too and learn about that. And I will say for me, I never was the person who was like, I want protein. Give me some good roasted vegetables with a nice glaze on it. Yes. And then all the carbs. All the carbs. Just, I'm not choosy with carbs. So, but now that I do prioritize protein, I really do feel like I want more protein now. And I know that, there's one of those sayings where it's like, okay, you are what you eat, but also I feel like there's another one where it's like, the more you eat of something, the more you'll crave it. I don't know how true that is. And I don't know if it's more because I've told my brain, like, no, you need protein, so you need to eat protein. And so then somehow in a way my body's like, okay, what's the protein? Because, man, that'll be a whole nother series, is like the mental game that honestly I think is hugely not talked about, is the mental game when it comes to losing weight, keeping weight off, being healthy, And there's so many things to talk about being healthy and what that means. Okay, focus. Okay, are you hydrated or are you bored? So all of these things to think about, with your diet. And I'm going to tell you right now, a huge hack of mine when I'm on a calorie deficit is using Diet Coke. I love Diet Coke. And it is something where if I'm hungry at night, which I have gotten hungry at night when I'm on a deficit, I'll drink some Diet Coke. And so I feel for my clients who don't like Diet Coke because really that's like what gets me through. Um, so, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you about that. But, okay. Okay, so is starvation mode a thing? No, not really.